we don't have any questions on the line, so it may be a brief one. If you've got questions, please don't be shy. All right, well, I have a question for you then. My question to you all is, what's stopping you from becoming an online backup reseller? What's stopping you from launching an online backup service today? So just picking on audience members, Mike and Monty and Nelson and Richard and Rick and Rodney and Ron and Scott, what is it that's holding you back? Okay, Rodney asks, are you concerned about market saturation? So Rodney, I'm not sure if you were here for the part of the presentation where I talked about that, but I'll go back to that slide. The answer is, today I'm absolutely not concerned about market saturation at all. 5 years from now, I would be. So the overall backup industry is a $10 billion industry, right? The online backup industry is less than $1 billion. Now, online backup is rapidly destroying all other forms of backup out there. It's a better technology at a fundamentally cheaper price. So you're seeing massive atrophy in the sales figures for things like tape backup, right? We saw the tape backup sales having shrunk from 2.7 billion to 1.5 billion in just an 18-month span. So where's that spend moving? Well, it's moving to the cloud. So we're looking at online backup growing to being a $7 or $8 billion industry from where we are today, at less than $1 billion. So we're talking about it growing to 7 times what it is today. A great way for you to look at this is poll your customers. How many of them are using online backup? I bet you it's less than 20% of them. So the goal for you should be to get 100% of them using your online backup service. So the short answer is no, I'm not worried about saturation at this point at all. It's a land grab right now. It's absolutely a land grab. 5 years from now, it would be a different story. Hope that answers your question. Richard asks, needs to research offerings. Looks promising. Richard, okay, fair enough. When you have finished researching other offerings, I suspect you'll find that we've got the most comprehensive partner program on the market. And I think one of the best ways to move forward with us would be call in and get an ROI model built from one of our team. But if you don't end up going with us, we always love to hear why. So please do stay in touch, and if you don't join our team, let us know why. Mike asks, investment costs, question mark. Mike, we've got multiple partner programs, some of which require commitment, some of which don't. So the best way to get an analysis of which program is best for you would be to talk to a partner specialist. We've got partners who range from Cisco and Yahoo on the big end all the way down to single-man IT shops throughout the United States. So we've got a diverse array of partner programs. Monty asks, can you send a hard disk for restoring if the data set is too large to restore over the wire? Absolutely, Monty. We call that a physical media recovery service, which is the sister service for the physical media upload. Mike asks, ROI for new partners, how soon to profitable business? Usually within a couple of months, Mike, and that's what that ROI model is all about. So if you're interested in that, I would absolutely call in and talk to the partner team about that, but usually within a couple of months, you're profitable. Monty also asks, can you restore data from machine A to machine B? Absolutely, Monty. In the demo I did briefly, you saw I'm here on machine A, but I could see machines B, D, E, F, G. I had 6 of them. So I can recover from any of those machines to this machine right here. Richard writes, I meant all of your offerings. I'm not sure what you mean, Richard. Perhaps a follow-up question. Scott writes, I've been using Jungle Disk for many years. How does your product differ? Well, Jungle Disk is a pretty low-powered solution, Scott. I would say that. So I'd say on a few different levels. 1, we're cheaper than Jungle Disk. 2, if you're a reseller, I'm not sure what their reseller program's like, but they're certainly not a major competitor of ours. They don't come up in conversations we have with resellers. 3, just the Jungle Disk product is in my opinion, not a particularly strong product. Certainly on features, it can't keep up with us. It doesn't keep up with Mozy or Carbonite or any of the other industry leaders either. So, yeah, I would say features, price, and certainly the depth of their partnership program. SOS is clearly ahead of Jungle Disk. What are the costs? Scott asks, what are the costs to seed or to retrieve data from the site? $150, Scott. Rodney asks, can you back up from a NAS device? Rodney, great question, a super important one. Our competitors don't let you back up from a NAS or back up from external hard disk drives. We let you do both. So you can back up your NAS to the cloud and you can back up your external hard disk drives to the cloud. You can't do that with Mozy. Monty asks, can you talk about backing up Exchange mail stores? Can we turn on journaling to make this work? Monty, I'm not sure about journaling, and I'm not an Exchange expert. But we can back up Exchange at the information store level, or we can do mailbox level mailbox level backup as well. Mike asks, current annual sales of SOS, question mark. I've never had that before. Mike, being a private company, we don't give that out, but it'll be 7 figures this year, and we're growing rapidly. But and if you're an investor, then feel free to get in touch via our website. But yeah, we're growing rapidly, and it'll be 7 figures this year. All right, no other questions on the line. Sorry, I meant 8 figures. Makes a pretty big difference. Nelson writes, Ken, I've got another meeting to go to, but I'd be interested in talking to someone. You guys should have my information from my registration. Please have someone call me. Will do, Nelson, no problem. Monty writes, brilliant, thank you, exclamation point. No problem, Monty. I'm not sure which, but happy to have helped. Scott, are you going to move to a BDR solution in your roadmap? What do you mean by BDR solution, Scott? Mike wants to know about our growth rate per year. So Mike, we really don't give out this information. I'm not sure what your interest in that is. We're a privately held company. We're growing rapidly. We're very profitable. And like I said, you know, our revenue this year will be in the 8 figures. Scott says, on-site backup and mirror to cloud. So Scott, you can do that with the solution today. So that's already in the solution. I wasn't sure what you meant by BDR. You can do a full backup on-site and then back up all that data or a subset of that data to the cloud. Monty wrote, BDR is backup disaster recovery. Yeah, right. That's my understanding of what BDR is, and I just will say SOS is a BDR solution. So the entire presentations have been about our backup and disaster recovery solution. So I thought that's what the context you were using it in, but I'm confused as to why you would think we would have to move to that in the future. We've very much been doing that for 10 years. Rodney asks, will there be a limit to the number of partners you'll accept? Perhaps, Rodney. Not yet, though. We're not at the point yet where we've got saturation in any markets. We don't like to have too many partners in any given market, but we're definitely nowhere near that yet. No, Scott Rady must have stepped away when that was covered. No problem, Scott. But just to be clear, the whole solution's a backup and disaster recovery solution. It's also an archiving solution. So the most common way this gets sold is just a straight DR solution for small businesses. Richard asks, what happens if the data center I back up to experience a natural disaster like a hurricane? Hasn't happened in 10 years, Richard. I've never been down. But if it did, where there's another copy of your data, so you'd have to take out all of our data centers to be down. Scott says, cool, where do I sign up? So Scott, I would call 877-896-3611 and talk to one of the partner specialists. Earl writes, what's the minimum dollar for resellers who want to resell this service? Earl, it really varies. It can be from anywhere from nothing all the way through to millions of dollars a year. So talk to the partner team and they can give you an assessment of which partner program you'd fit into. Not everybody qualifies for all of our partner programs. Rodney writes, how will you handle channel conflict? So I'd love more context to the question, Rodney. But generally, we haven't had a problem with channel conflict historically. So we don't see it as a big issue. It hasn't been a big issue. But if you've got a more specific question, I'm happy to answer it. All right, well, we're out of questions on the line, so we're also running out of time. I'll be here for another couple of minutes to answer any questions, but absent that, let's consider the webinar over. and do call in to register for the Kindle giveaway, ROI model done. I think that's probably the two best steps you can take to learn more about SOS and joining our partner team. So thank you, everybody, and having a wonderful day. The Kindle code is KDX0407. Thank you all. Okay, Rodney's written 2 partners in the same account, i.e. large institution. Well, that's between those 2 partners, Rodney. We don't get involved to arbitrate competitive situations between our partners. I will say it's never occurred. I've never been made aware of a single incident of that. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to compete with people. Whether those people are Mozy or Carbonite or another SOS partner, it could theoretically happen, and it's not something that we can control. And nor would you want us to, right? I mean, so you're going to make the best pitch that you can make, and you're going to win your business, and you would never want us to get involved to try and arbitrate that kind of situation. Earl, the Kindle code is KDX0407. And Rodney, just to follow up to that, I mean, it's the same with, say, Microsoft, right? Plenty of Microsoft resellers actually compete with one another, and that is just the nature of things. The one benefit you've got right now is SOS has only got 700 active partners, so the chances of you butting heads with another SOS partner is very low. No problem, Rick. Thanks for being on the line today. All right, that seems to be a wrap. Okay, well, thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful day.